How is it going, everyone? Here to take you guys through a plethora of updates regarding Palworld. A lot been going on regarding the game. We'll talk about the future of Palworld as PvP has rolled out the roadmap for the game. While it is in early access, they're going to be making a lot of fixes towards the game and updates and things like that. As far as content updates go, obviously that's coming. But there's a lot of things to consider when you're talking about the forthcoming content of Palworld and a lot of things going on. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. But let's talk about it. The future of Palworld, as noted in the official Steam community page, noting we would like to share with you our roadmap for Palworld. Sales have far exceeded the development team's expectations. Yeah, no kidding. I think Pocket Pair, you know, you could tell that Palworld was gonna have some interest, and it was a game that I was following ahead of release, but nobody could have predicted the gargantuan level of success that the game has experienced. And yeah, obviously in any case like that, an early access title, a smaller team working on the game, you're gonna be absolutely onslaughted with a lot of people bringing forth a lot of bugs, issues, errors, everything like that. And we are currently experiencing many problems due to excessive access congestion, among other challenges. Obviously, server issues are going to arise as well. We'll prioritize improving this issue first and then move on to implementing new in-game features. Thank you for understanding. Obviously, they have to work on the crucial errors and the crucial issues that are game-breaking before they actually put a lot of emphasis in terms of creating new content. And right now, refining the experience and making it as bug-free as possible, that's gotta be the most important thing. But the early access roadmap notes this: addressing critical issues. Currently, numerous bugs have been identified and we are prioritizing fixing those. Sometimes the world date may experience rollbacks, the loading screen may persist when trying to load into worlds, and so on and so forth. These range in how big the issues are, but these are easy refinements that they can get done, and it'll make the overall game at its current form more engaging, more user-friendly, and you want to get that on the table first before you create new content and do everything like that. Improvements to implement ASAP, key configuration improvements, and improvements to base PAL AI and pathing. PAL AI has been something that people have been critical of, but it looks like that is under work. Planned future updates, obviously, PvP, raid bosses, that's going to create more endgame content, PAL Arena, PvP for the PALs, Steam and Xbox Crossplay, obviously with no PlayStation release yet, it is on Xbox, and they want to get Crossplay available on both PC and Xbox so people can play with each other, and I'm sure when the game ultimately comes to PlayStation 5, crossplay will be available there as well. Various Xbox feature improvements, server transfers and migrations, which people are dying for, improvements to the building system, and then new islands, pals, bosses, and technologies. There's gonna be a sizable amount of content that Palworld is still gonna be getting. Obviously, this game is in early access, and for those of you that aren't familiar with early access, I'm sure people watching our videos are familiar with an early access model, but this game has really hit more of a mainstream audience where Palworld might be their very first early access game ever, and it might not be something that they're too familiar with in how the early access model goes. In the case of Palworld, it's an early access game done right in the sense that it came out in a form where it's already really compelling, but if you're new to early access and you're expecting a completely robust and complete game, Palworld obviously isn't that in terms of it being fine-tuned in every area, but I guarantee you that if you've had any idea while playing Palworld that, hey, I wish X was in the game, I wish Y was in the game, I assure you that thought has gone through Pocket Pair's head and they are thinking about it, whether they themselves thought of it or it came to the table via a lot of feedback from the community. That's the idea of an early access game, and if you read the early access breakdown of why they entered early access, you'll see a lot of that. In a game like this, you absolutely need community feedback, not just to identify bugs, glitches, and errors and things of that sort, but how the content should be rolled out and ultimately what people want to see out of the game. But it's gonna continue to evolve. It's gonna get more content. It's gonna get more pals. They said that right out of the gate, that the PAL count that you see in Palworld right now, that's not going to be infinality. In fact, they can add PALs for years and years and years if they want to just keep Palworld as its own game, or if they do a follow-up title, whatever the case may be, they're going to expand the amount of PALs that are in the game. That's the easiest thing you can do, and you can roll out more content. Me, from a selfish personal standpoint, and I know that this isn't going to be the thing that Palworld and Pocket Pair is going to look at right now. Maybe in the future they'll look at it, but I would love some sort of single player, somewhat narrative driven campaign style mode Look, when it comes to what I like out of video games, I like a start point and an end point, and I like an experience that I can start and I know when it ends. That's my issue with survival games. It's just like, you kind of just do it forever and you play it forever, or when you get bored of it, there's just so much to do, etc, etc. I get it with Palworld right now. You've got the various towers you can do, and you can kind of identify and define your own endpoint for the game. You can start playing the game and be like, hey, I want to catch all the pals, I want to beat all the towers, and then I'm done with the game. And guess what? Doing all that, that's going to give you a sizable amount of content. But I'm talking about, you know, a traditional campaign story component where you do have a start point and end point, and then you can play through the entirety of the game. Right now, everybody's enjoying that open-ended sandbox style of gameplay, and that's what ultimately this game is probably going to focus on. But from my selfish vantage point, I would love to see some sort of, you know, slight narrative emphasis single-player component. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but if it does, it would be right up my alley. But obviously, they're going to continue, first and foremost, fixing the bugs, fixing the critical errors that are going to hamper the game in its current form. Then they're going to continue to improve the game, and if it was up to me, I wouldn't be doing content updates every month or something like that. What I would do is obviously do updates that are going to fine-tune the bugs, glitches, and things of that sort, but I would more so do bi-monthly or quarterly updates where you're going to have a sizable amount of content being rolled out that's going to excite people and get them to come back into the game, rather than piecemealing out smaller content updates every month or so. That's personally how I would handle it, but we'll see where they ultimately go. Really, the world is their oyster at this point, and what I've said about Palworld over and over again is, yes, currently the game is exciting. A lot of people are enjoying it, and I'm very happy about that, but to me, the most exciting thing is, where can this game be in a year, 16 months, 24 months even? Yes, we know that early access is going to be at least a year, but even when this game comes out of early access, it's going to continue to get updates. It's going to be a game that continues to evolve, and there's so much you can do. Now, I am pushing the cart before the horse a little bit, because there's a lot of work we still have to do before we get to the point a year from now, 16 months from now, and I'm sure Pocket Pair is looking at it week to week and just addressing the critical stuff, and then they'll ultimately think about everything else. But they've got a winning formula on their hands, and where they go from here, I think, is going to be something that is studied under a microscope. And this game in general is very much going to be a case study that big publishers are going to look at. This game did not have a big marketing budget. What was the big promotional vehicle for this game outside of the fact you've got the Pokemon style Mon designs, I guess, if you want to say? Really, the biggest promotional vehicle for this game is the most powerful promotional vehicle in all of gaming in 2024, and that is word of mouth. Word of mouth is so powerful, and it's how a lot of games get popular these days, or hell, it's how a lot of people get pushed away from games. But in the case of Palworld, it's been absolutely positive, and word of mouth has been incredibly powerful for the game. A couple other things to note regarding countermeasures against cheating on official servers. You know that this is going to be a thing. Currently, some players have been confirmed to be cheating on the official server. We'll apply a patch as soon as it's ready, but it is currently difficult to completely prevent all cheating immediately. They've got so much on their plate right now, guys, that you have to be a little bit understanding with why it might take a little bit of time to fine-tune absolutely everything, attack cheating, etc, etc. Nobody could have seen this coming in terms of the success level of the game, and obviously when things get this successful, you know, people are going to be doing nefarious things as far as cheating. We will continue to focus even more on security and aim to create an environment where everyone can play with peace of mind. Remember that Palworld is totally playable offline. You can do private servers, etc, etc. Most people I've talked to are doing offline servers, or they're doing private servers with their friends, so keep that in mind as well. And then also, a new patch did drop this morning. Main changes: fixed the bug where the loading screen did not end when logging into the world, fixed the bug where the world date was not displayed correctly and appeared to reset, corrected various incorrect text, and countermeasures against various cheats and exploits. I don't know if you guys know, there is a little bit of an exploit where you can catch one of the big boss pals early on in the game, and yeah, people have been taking advantage of that. I don't know if that's been patched out of the game. That's not something that's really hindering gameplay experiences, it seems like, but it is something interesting to note. They also noted we will continue to place top priority on fixing major issues, and that's what it's got to be right now. I know some people are looking at more content being added to the game, but that's not gonna happen, at least not in the immediate future, because there's so many more critical issues to take care of, and then then we can talk about more content updates. And when you look at the game right now, it's already offering you a sizable amount of content and hours of gameplay that for your $27, you're getting your money's worth, and you spend $27 on it, you're investing into a game that is going to give you a lot of updates and a lot of free content, quote-unquote free content. You spend your $27 on an early access game, but yeah, you're going to get more and more stuff in this early access period. And remember, when it comes out of early access or even deeper into the early access period, that price can be increased. If we hear anything about a price increase, which I imagine wouldn't happen for at least 6 to 9 months, I'll let you guys know, but that is something to be mindful of. And when the game ultimately comes out on PlayStation 5, it might not be 27 or 30 bucks, it might be $40, $50. Just keep that in mind as well. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, enjoying going through the Palworld updates with you guys, and I know it's still not available on PS5, but it seems like a large portion of our audience is playing the game, so I'll keep you guys posted on it, and as we hear more about the PS5 version, I will certainly let you guys know. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.